I got a plant.
The snake's tongue. That's a good house plant.
I'm borrowing my friend's house too, so
Sweet. So
excellent
what have you been
coaching.
up to? Yeah, right?
Oh man, I've been unicycling a bunch, that's for sure. I have just been embracing the fact that my life is never going to be the same. So I'm just adapting to the change and trying to continue to do what I love and find new means to create income. So,
Yeah. Yeah.
that one of my big parts of my success has been my ability to transform and adapt. Right. I'm like, no point in fighting it,
Oh
anything.
yeah.
Just
Yeah.
sort of don't try and swim upstream. So
Yeah. And we all have to do that in our own way, no matter what it is that you're talking about. We all have to figure out when you're growing, you have new obstacles that you're going to have to get through. So that's awesome. So yeah, what have you have to adapt to lately with the pandemic or?
yeah, so my career as a performer, my job is to bring people together.
Yeah.
So I can't really tell people even where I am, so they won't come running. Uh, so I have reached out to the farm across the street and doing some farming. I figured,
Oh, cool.
food is important,
Yeah.
and there's a farm, so they responded back to me, and I got to meet them, and they're getting ready to have their busy season, and they wanted to hire somebody anyways. So my commute will be a unicycle ride down the driveway.
Wow.
Yeah, so I'm excited about that.
That's super cool. That's really
So I'll
cool.
have fresh food, I'll keep my belly full and get some exercise and keep my distance.
Yeah, I've been helping at a farm too, Cold Spring Farm. I've been helping with the deliveries and getting in with the community. It's so cool. The farm, they're like beyond organic. And so they're always doing produce and eggs. And it's just a really cool environment. And then they get a farm stand where people just come and pick stuff up. It's like honor system. They Venmo. And so it's really cool to kind of just see it operate.
Oh, that's totally cool.
I don't know if you'd want to ride your unicycle up these hills. These are hills,
No,
Niagara
yeah,
hills.
yeah, the unicycle has its limitations. So flat roads are my friend right now.
Yeah. I understand you have 3 different unicycles, right?
Actually, I have five.
You have 5 now.
Five different now, yeah. So
Good for
my
you.
favorite, the one I was on today is my 36-incher when I'm cruising on the highway or the road. It's like riding a tractor essentially.
Wow.
So yeah, and then I got 20-inch, 24, and a 26 off-road, 26-incher off-road.
26-incher off-road. You take it off any sweet jumps?
Yeah, I'm building my confidence, but yeah, it's got a nice fat tire. If you're gonna learn to ride a unicycle, take my advice and get an off-road unicycle. It's a lot easier.
That's
The
wild.
grass is also a lot softer.
Oh yeah, man, the grass has been incredibly green lately. I'm in Connecticut now. I know
Oh,
you're still in Virginia, right?
yeah. I'm near Charlottesville. I didn't know you were in Connecticut. Okay,
Yeah,
cool.
yeah. I moved up in January, and man, the spring up is happening so quick right now. We've been getting a little bit of rain, but like every time it's sunny, the green is so green. It's incredible.
Yeah.
So
Yeah, spring is gorgeous here. The pollen's out, flowers are blooming. The farm that's across the street from me, they do food and flowers. So, I've actually always wanted to be a florist. So I was like, here's my chance.
there you go. There you
Yeah.
go.
So,
Nice. I've grown mushrooms a couple of times. You can get those kits from the stores and stuff like that too, and you
okay.
can do like lion's mane and all kinds of good stuff. And that's a really cool, because like plants, I think plants always take a lot, like whether it's hydration or, my plants don't last forever. I need those long indoor
Yeah.
plants.
Yeah. Plus, like, you got insects and deer, and like everybody wants to eat the plants. That's why I have never honestly put forth the energy because I'm like, it's like a war. Who's
Yeah.
going to eat it first? So.
That's how I recognize the snake tongue though, is because I know that's a good indoor plant that lasts a while, that's limited or, less maintenance. So that's good.
Well, I have one piece of bamboo I've had for 10 years. And bamboo is the best because you just put it in a thing of water and it's good. That baby's driven with me across the country. Like, I've
Yeah, the
got
next best thing's like
one piece of
cactus.
bamboo. So
That's cool.
so
So
How you like in Connecticut, just out of curiosity?
Oh, I love it. I love it. It's like I'm back home. So I was
Okay.
stationed here between 2009 and 2012, and I was bouncing around like the New London and Ellington area for skydiving. CPI's up there, Connecticut parachutist, where Yukon jumps out of. And so I knew that if I were to come back up here, I'd want to be in like south central Connecticut because of all the woods and like the forestry and the trails and in the center of everything. And that's where I am. Like I'm bouncing between
You're
Clinton.
frozen. Okay, you're good. You're good. You're good now. I was like, what'd you say?
So right now I'm bouncing between Clinton and East Haddam, which is very south central, and it's beautiful. I'm going through Devil's Hop Yard State Park, which is all like S roads, and like sometimes the other day it rained really, really bad. I know it was raining down there, and we had a ton of trees falling down. Like there was 3 different roads where there were just trees across, and we're like, okay, I guess we're gonna go around. And these are backcountry roads,
Yeah.
so it's really cool. I love it up here. It's a breath of fresh air is really what it is. And the towns are really cool. The people are really cool and welcoming, and trying to get a part and be a part of the community, learn the area. It's like everybody's really, really welcoming. There's families that own farm here since like the 1700s, like a really, really long time.
Sweet.
Yeah.
Awesome. Well,
So,
I'm glad you're enjoying it. And I'm glad you found your spot for now.
oh yeah, for sure, for sure. I'm looking to put roots down. So because everything's up here, yeah.
Awesome. Well, congratulations.
Yeah, thanks. So at some point, I'm going to read this introduction that I wrote here for you, and
Okay.
so I checked out your website because I remember you gave it to me when we met at Virginia Skydiving Center, and have you been doing much jumping since then?
Oh yeah. Oh, I was. Yeah, I was jumping my butt off. Yeah, and the day it was called a pandemic, I got my parachute riggers ticket.
Good for
Uh,
you. Good for you.
so so I'm putting those sewing skills to work now. I'm making all sorts of stuff. But yeah, I was getting ready to make my juggling skydiving, in a raft. Like I got the approval from everybody. It was a collaboration. I had everybody on board. Found the right aircraft, the right drop zone,
What?
and then boom.
They said not today.
Exactly. Not this year, apparently, which is okay. I've been training. I've been juggling for 15 years.
Yeah.
I found juggling through skydiving, and obviously I'm very, I'm not in a big hurry, so I'll just wait, and I'll just get really good at being present, which is what the trick is all about, because it's like the ultimate trick. And then when it's time, should be good.
Man, that's awesome. So like, so you just say that. So I guess because things can happen like that, they just appear out of nowhere. You're like, oh, I came across juggling through skydiving, and then boom, here I am, the magician of life. I juggle fire and knives and all kinds of stuff now on unicycles. Like, how did it come upon you like this way, and how's it like made you want to do it so passionately now moving forward and bringing people together through this avenue? Like, that's interesting.
So juggling was a hobby of mine for like 10 years, and it was just a way for me to I was thinking about this on my unicycle ride today, that went and got some experience on stage and got to see what that was all like, and performing for a living is much different than just juggling by yourself and not being watched. So it took me a little bit of time to like calm down while somebody's watching me, So
Yeah.
because it's totally different. And then you realize that it's really not about technical skill. It's really about just like having a good time, making people laugh, So it's like as soon as I started into it, I was like, oh, this has nothing to do with what I thought it would be like. And then once I started to see how much happiness that brought people, and it's really just because like as a street performing is where my heart and soul is, because you never know what's going to happen. Like you can meet anybody, you can have the most craziest interaction.
Oh yeah, the street performers. I guess I've been to Key West, and there are all kinds of street performers down there.
Oh yeah, yeah. And so, it's just really fun because then you get this energy from the crowd, and it is, as some of the actors have told me, they're like, performing is the greatest, drug essentially you'll ever experience. And I gotta say, after I go street perform for 5 hours, I'm on like such a high that it'll take me a good 12 hours to come down.
Yeah.
So what it does is people just really want to be seen. And that's really sort of what my job is when I'm on the street, is to see you, see where you're at, and see how we can come together and make something fun together, like a memory, in which, I just, at the end of my shows, my whole message really to the world is whoever has the most fun wins, right?
Yeah.
And I feel as though now people are starting to understand that I'm not crazy, that really whoever has the most fun in life, because they're like, what do you win? I was like, you win at life.
You win.
Yeah,
I win.
yeah, exactly. So whoever has the most fun wins. So, and it's going to continue with this whole pandemic. I've thought about a few different ideas of, going entertaining. My friend just had surgery and she has kids, so I'm going to go entertain through the windows.
Oh my gosh.
And, and still have, and it'll evolve into something else constantly. So
that's cool. And it gives you that ability to do so.
Yeah. And it
evolve.
feeds, like, my job, feeds me, literally, figuratively, like, it gives me money, it feeds my soul.
Yeah.
So it was never something I set out to do. It just happened. So
that's so cool.
It's like, I guess I'll go, again, I'm not going to swim upstream. I'm like, well, somebody just offered me money to do something I love to do, so I guess I'll go do it.
Yeah. And I was talking to my friend about that the other day, and this is something that I try to, like, I call them sleeper skills, So I try to help people recognize is that if you can do something that you're naturally good at, or that comes easy for you, or that you're so passionate about, and it gives you excitement to continue doing, then you should try to explore and find those avenues, whether it's, because think about it, people are hand models, people are voiceovers, people are, people play all kinds of roles in this world. And if you could find the thing that you're just naturally good at, that people could welcome, that brings joy or excitement to you and others, then you find yourself something that's like totally, like, almost unachievable to most people,
Yeah.
So that's awesome.
And often people don't even realize those things exist until somebody offers them the opportunity,
Right.
And that's the thing. It's just like, so that's, the more people you meet, the more prosperity the more chance and opportunity you have. And that's my other thing. That's why I like meeting lots of people. So
yeah. Let me get this, let me say this introduction.
Oh, okay.
So I checked out your website, and this is what I came up with. Our next guest is a kind-hearted, thrill-seeking juggler whose mission is to impact the world one smile at a time through her expertise of juggling clubs, knives, and even fire for her clients, such as, and not limited to, Amazon, Microsoft, Cirque du New Year's Eve, and S&P Global. Did I get that right? Cirque du New Year's Eve?
Yep,
Okay,
you got
cool.
it right.
Coined the Magician of Life, she's an athlete and entertainer based out of Virginia, member of the International Juggling Association and the United States Parachute Association. What? She's a skydiver. Her workshops are structured with a fun, physical, and mental teaching technique that leaves you feeling energized after a workout. With a daily creative approach to living an out-of-the-box life, this philosophy often takes her traveling, allowing her to live her motto, whoever has the most fun wins. Allow me to introduce Erin Riley.
Great job. Good job. I'm proud of you. That was great.
Thanks. So when I was checking out your website, I can see that you do stuff for schools, community-based, for the companies. I can tell that you're, for hire, your services are for hire, and to do that. So if you could pick like one crowd, or like, what is it that you're really looking for people? Like, if you have so much information out there and there's just like one quick statement that you want people to know and realize when it comes to you, what would that be?
One thing to realize about me,
I
can help you learn something very quickly, and it's just about seeing how you're processing information, and then giving you some like support in a way to help you do it very quickly. So that is one of my skills. Like, I've taught over 1,000 people how to juggle in under 2 minutes.
That's incredible.
I like to pass the art along, because it literally changes your brain frequency.
What?
Juggling is good for you mentally and physically, and it's something you can do anywhere, anytime, for free, and you will automatically usually feel better. And the best part about juggling is you stop thinking. And I think, we think too much. So if there's one thing people can know about me, it's that I can help you stop thinking.
There you go.
very quickly through, and juggling, I call it like a moving meditation. So it's not as hard as you think.
Oh,
Yeah.
a moving meditation. That makes a lot of sense. Like swimming laps, like for me, swimming, all you can think about is the technique. If you start to think about anything else, your technique and your time gets affected so dramatically. So for me, I have to think like breath, stroke, kick, whatever. So that's
Well,
a really,
I started swimming a few years ago, and I love it because it really makes you focus on the breath. Like it is
yeah.
the ultimate exercise to experience breathing and all the effects that it has. So yeah, I highly recommend. And swimming is ambidextrous, just like juggling. So that's totally cool.
Yeah. I played this Buddhist monk like chanting on Spotify the other day, and when I find a good one, I'll heart it so I can hear it again. And this one, it had this like drawn out drone with like the rhythm of breaths, or like as if you were breathing. And then I was just driving, and then after a few minutes, I realized that I was like taking deep breaths in with the drones, like. And I was like, whoa, like just got caught with it. And that's an incredible, when you take the time to slow your mind and take in those deep breaths, get that oxygen in, and how replenished you can feel. It's incredible.
And these juggling workshops I teach, I'll notice when people hold their breath. And so instead of, in the way that I approach things, I don't like say what you should, and this was a room of people. So I just noticed that there are a number of people doing it. So I just simply say, if you're having a difficult time, focus on your breathing. And then sure enough, two people did. And this woman turned around, she looked at me, she's like, oh my gosh, it totally worked.
It works.
I'm like, I know, my favorite thing was doing like a corporate team building workshop, and adults aren't as adaptive as children to learning new things.
Yeah.
And so like they're all like, oh, you'll never teach me how to do anything, that sort of attitude. And then literally within 2 minutes of teaching them to juggle, they're like, this is the greatest moment of my life.
Yeah.
So
That's funny. We see that in skydiving too, like the tandem skydivers. Some of them are really, but even the people, you can see like the fear, like, oh man, and then afterwards, like, oh, how, y'all do this all the time? I want to learn how to fly, and that's really interesting stuff to see how you can see it in the body. And then and I think what people are drawn to things like this is because, they see the excitement and the fascination of people who can do them behind it, and like what it feels like. So whether it's what you just described to juggling, and, synonymous to how we experience skydiving, the thrill and then jumping out of it and then like wanting to do more. It's, man, I lost where I was going with that, to be honest with you, but,
okay.
but they're relatable. They're relatable.
It's confidence. It builds that confidence. Skydiving, there's nothing that builds more confidence than skydiving, because you're just like, I just saved my own life.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
that's, and skydiving, I made my first jump and I didn't, I couldn't breathe. My first tandem skydiving,
really?
I was like, I could not breathe. The air was so intense. And so I spent a year learning to breathe.
Mm.
And then I went back into the sport, just full force, and, did AFF and everything. But yeah, it took some time to like, try to slow down.
Tell me how you learned how to breathe. I want to hear about that.
Oh, I've had breathing problems my whole life. So my lungs are, they've been developing, getting stronger. So then after that first skydive, I was 21. I met this guy that does this like circular breathing type of workshop. And he like sort of did some breath coaching with me, and that sort of helped the process. But I think a lot of it also had to do with like me being aware of things that agitate my lungs and then avoid them, but also like the mental capacity of just trying to like breathe through things. And so just, that was sort of my conscious effort. I was like, I want to skydive, and to do that, I need to breathe.
Yeah.
So it was definitely, it was a very motivating factor.
You need to do that to do a lot of things, I hear, but.
And it, it helps, like, for me to mount my big unicycle now, it really just comes down to like breathe before I get on, and then once I'm at that apex, take another breath so I don't like clench up.
Yeah. Wow. Yeah. So I dabbled playing the didgeridoo, and I'm trying to learn how to circular breathe. Like I've read how to do it, breathing in through your nose and like using your cheeks to blow out of your mouth and like refilling your mouth as a chamber. and I can't break that down into one smooth motion yet, so what I've actually developed is just learning how to like take really deep breaths and then elongate them for as long as possible. So, but I'm working on the circular breathing.
Yeah, I have a dig too. I'm not very good at it at all. That's been a goal of mine, because you also can like enter like an altered state of euphoria through it.
Oh
And
my gosh.
I'm like, yes, please.
Oh yeah.
I have a conch shell I was blowing into, and I swear, man, after doing that for a few minutes, my lungs felt amazing.
Yeah.
Even going outside and like screaming and yelling, like there's a reason it helps. And anytime I would have a bad landing skydiving, I would just scream as loud as I could, and
Wow.
it would help break the fall.
Oh yeah.
So, thankfully I took I'm not, that was in the beginning.
Yeah. I've brought the didgeridoo to a couple boogies and stuff like that. I'd like to play like the drums with the didgeridoo, or even just with some drumsticks on the didgeridoo. And I think that has a huge effect on what it can bring to the table as an instrument. Have you ever heard of Xavier Rudd?
Oh man, I love that man. I've seen, yeah, he played at Floyd Fest at a gig I had. He's phenomenal.
Wow.
He came out, it was raining. He comes out on stage and starts playing, and the clouds part and the sun beams down. And everybody, after he played, everybody just turned around, looked at each other, was like, what just happened? I mean, it was like we were all vibrating.
That just happened.
That man is amazing. I love him.
Nice.
Yeah.
So behind the scenes, what are you doing during the day? I mean, what are you doing to adapt and overcome, like we were talking about earlier? Are you doing the online classes? I know you can teach people how to juggle within 2 minutes.
Yeah, and it really has to do with me usually being present. Just like it's easier to learn to juggle when you're in a room full of really good jugglers. So what I am doing is I've been juggling for 15 years now this month, and I have just entered into a whole new world of unicycling.
Okay.
It has just I can juggle on the unicycle, but the unicycle is great because in the wind you can still unicycle. Juggling can be hard in the wind.
Yeah.
And I've got like some other props that I haven't gotten to use as much. So I got a nice slackline balance beam. I have a 26-inch walking globe. It's this big ball you can walk on. So in a lot of ways, I am just working on things that I've always wanted to work on for myself, and things that I use to teach. And then, so I'm not teaching right now. Although I did ride my unicycle by one of my former students' houses, and so he wants to borrow one of my small unicycles, so I'm going to just loan it to him, and then I'm just going to do some performing at the end of people's driveways.
There you go. Get creative with it.
I've met more new people in quarantine than ever, because I'm out on my unicycle and all the neighbors will come out. I'm out in the country, and so I'm like the highlight of the day sometimes.
That's too funny.
Yeah, one guy got in his truck and followed me down, videotaped me the whole time. He's like, "This is the greatest thing I've seen all day." Like, I gotta show my wife. So I've met, Dave Matthews pulled over and stuck his head out of the window and congratulated me. I've met all sorts of people doing what I really love to do, which is I'm out there on the road because there's no cars. So that was the other problem why I didn't unicycle out on the road so much. And so now I just got beautiful days and country roads, and so I'm really just doing more of that and seeing what happens with it. I'm sure it'll evolve. It always does. Something always evolves into, I just do what I love, and eventually something happens. So like, okay, well, I guess I'll do this for a while.
Wow. Yeah. Riding unicycles outside in the that's crazy. So if you were to, so it's with where you are in the year right now, April timeframe, first quarter's coming up. Where are you trying to go within this next year? This pandemic lifts up, perfect year of this next year. You look back, what have you done?
Okay, ask that question one more time.
Sorry. So everything's returns back to normal.
Okay.
It's a year later.
Okay.
You're looking back, you've like what are some events that that you're interested in doing, or what are some of these projects that you're trying to put together? I know you're going to resume back into trying to juggle while you're doing a skydive, which also I'm going to ask this question now before I forget is, are you weighing whatever you're juggling down to match the fall rate? Because otherwise that seems like impossible.
Yeah. So I have the, like a small whitewater rafting. It's like a raft jump.
Okay.
And 3 space balls or tennis balls full of 100 pennies each with a little ribbon on them.
Okay.
Yeah. Yeah.
So cool.
You know,
I love the speed balls. That's what they're called, right? Like when they just throw them and they pass them around.
yeah. Space balls.
Space balls. Yeah. They're
Space
fun
balls.
they're fun. It's fun in the tunnel too. If you're on your back and you're throwing it around and you got to catch them.
Yeah.
That's pretty incredible.
Yeah.
Where are you going to do it out of?
Skydive Suffolk.
Okay, cool.
That's the first option just because I'm here in Virginia. But I contacted some people out at Skydive Arizona a long time ago. Before I got, I took a 10-year hiatus out of skydiving. So I took 10 years out. And so I contacted Steve Curtis out there a few years ago, and he was like, absolutely, it's totally possible. Be happy to help you in any way I can. So Skydive Suffolk is my first choice because I'm in Virginia. Otherwise I'd head out to Arizona.
Where in Virginia are you?
I'm sorry?
Where in Virginia are you?
Oh, I'm just south of Charlottesville, Virginia.
Okay.
Yeah.
So where's that? That's
Scottsville.
Southwest.
I mean, it's right in the sort of the middle of the state. I mean.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm an hour from Richmond.
Okay.
Yeah. So in the next year, so if everything got back to normal, which my theory is that nothing will ever quite be the same again, which is
right.
fine. I think what I like to do is strolling entertainment, and you just sort of stroll through people. So that will be of good use when it comes back. And I'm sure that my unicycling will evolve into something totally different. But yes, I would like to do my juggling skydiving trick. I'm also I'm satisfied with my technical skill level in juggling. Like, I've juggled for 15 years. There's a point at which you just accept the fact that, it took me 5 years to juggle 5 balls that good. You reach a certain point, I'm 36 years old too. So it's like my ambitions to do certain technical tricks are just like,
Yeah.
For me, it's really about just finding that good breath that I have in a trick that makes me be able to do it effortlessly, so it doesn't feel like work. It shouldn't have to feel like work.
Yeah.
So I'd like to, in a year, continue my services to help people have fun, and who knows how that might go. It might totally evolve into, stand on the back of a truck driving through a neighborhood juggling. I don't know,
That's too funny.
But my dream of juggling and skydiving is definitely that's like the last part of my big hurrah of my career. And I've got plenty of props to give away at this point. So I'm okay with continuing my career. I'm also okay with moving on and using that tool to help me do something else. So, I'm going to start farming here in a bit and, grow some food. So that sounds good. And I also have a book I'm trying to finish writing, Confessions of the Babysitter.
Okay.
I've been, babysitting for 17 years and got into it for job security.
Really?
And, we're in the middle of a pandemic, and it's a needed service still to this day. People are like, so it kind of does. So I would like to finish that. I'd like to have that, it's a relatable subject. I got plenty of funny stories.
I bet.
I'm like Rent-A-Mom. So I'm okay with continuing my career. I'm okay with also passing the baton and being a mentor for other people, other performers. I was grateful. I've had a few mentors in my life. So as I get older, I'm okay with letting my career take a different shape and different form. So,
yeah, that's good. That's important. And everybody's going to have to do that nonetheless, no matter what happens, because at some point they're going to reach that point that they've expecting or didn't expect. And then, that's what I think it's important that everybody remember is okay, what do I do now? and laying the foundation for anything, no matter, whatever it is, as long as it's close to your heart and you can support it. So down the road, if you ever needed to call on that, boom, like
Right.
that.
Well,
But,
and that was the whole point of getting my riggers ticket, because I was like, I'm getting older. Performing it takes a lot of energy. Like I am okay with like not having to train my butt off for a show and having to like ration my food, and water intake before a certain show in like 90-degree heat. There's there's like a 2-hour performance in the heat is really like a 5-day endeavor.
wow.
So part of the whole getting my riggers ticket was like, oh, I could perform part of the year. I could, pack parachutes part of the year. So in a year, maybe, be able to do a little bit of both too. That's okay.
Yeah, I took the pre-riggers course at Skydive Orange.
Yes.
And I know that I want to continue on. I just moved earlier this year, so I'm waiting for the dust to settle. But I definitely want to get my riggers loft, and I want to set up. I'm so excited. So excited.
Well, and so I've just taken the sewing stuff. So I'm also going to start sewing some like costumes and stuff.
That's cool.
I have a costume maker, and
What?
so now, I know now I've got all these, I've got sewing skills. So I'm gonna like,
I'm gonna
make a pair of pants. I made a bunch of masks for people.
Oh,
and,
cool! Look at those.
Yeah, so spiral. So I'm using those skills, and it's amazing. You can just watch a few YouTube videos. And,
oh yeah.
I mean, my
You can
mind
go to
is
Joann's,
blown.
you can get the patterns. You can buy them for like a couple bucks, and you can make anything. My girlfriend and I made my daughter's a couple ponchos that were reversible with hoods and 2 different patterns on the inside and outside. And
Sweet.
man, we were up all night for like 2 days, just like hanging away. But to have that ability to just make things like that, it's a game changer.
Right. And I'm thinking now also it might come in handy because the woman that makes my cool costume pants, everybody always asks, hey, where do you get those? Like everybody wants to buy the clothes that I'm wearing while I'm performing. So I'm thinking, well, maybe I should just make some and sell them. Like, that's, again, I'm still using that using that tool, using that education and being able to support myself. So
you could draw the plans or the steps to make them and then sell those online. So they just continue to sell themselves for people like you and I who just want the prints and figure it out themselves. Like I've made a top hat before, like I got the wire and the really thick material. I can't remember what it's called, but it was a really interesting feature. It looked pretty good.
That's cool. Yeah.
But as you do that, as you set this business up, you want to automate as much as possible so you don't have to keep doing the energy, because at some point you're just gonna get tired. You want to chill and collect,
Yeah.
So as you do it, make the video, make the online course, write down all the words and stuff like that, record it, and then you can pay for someone to even transcribe it for you. And then just create the ebooks, create the patterns, sell it online. And then if they want you to make them, then they'll pay for it.
Great. I just wrote that all down.
Yeah. Well, you'll get a copy of this, so that too.
Cool.
But I'm trying to do the same thing with my things. Like, I don't know if I want to be an author of a book, because I hear it's like, I don't know if I want to be another author, I think if I can make like some ebooks or just something to like help other people, or I understand the process. Have you ever heard of 4-Hour Workweek? You ever read or heard that?
I think I've heard of it. Yeah.
It's a really interesting concept, and it's a really good book. Like he pretty much talks about if you have like $5,000, you can pay to have someone write an ebook and do the courses and pretty much get your business started and automated, and then just collect the benefits and then work 4 hours a week.
That sounds great.
But yeah, oh yeah. So it's like chicken noodle soup, and they have like different versions of all the things.
Mm-hmm.
That strategy is like a total great concept of you being able to make multiple books off of different perspectives, and then sell them, because the people who can resonate with them will buy them. So you can teenagers, young kids, adults, boys, girls.
Right.
Yeah. So.
Well, I'm thinking that storytelling, because like I'm not the greatest writer, but I'm good at like telling stories. And I was thinking that even Confessions of the Babysitter, because I was like, that would be good, like almost stand-up comedy type stories.
Oh yeah.
I'm trying to, I was looking at all the different ways that I can get the message across. So I'm still trying to figure it out. But nowadays there's a lot more options than just writing a book.
The first format I thought was kind of, have you heard of I Hope They Serve Beer in Hell?
I haven't heard that.
Okay,
That sounds good.
so that's a book about this guy who does all kinds of hilarious stories, and it's like, wow, this guy's a real piece of work. He's hilarious, but it doesn't make sense now that you don't know the book. But that was how I viewed the book being written.
Well, I talked to somebody I met that writes, and I said, what advice do you have for somebody that's a new, wants to write a book? He goes, write something that you would want somebody to find, like at the end of the world, essentially. The back, when everybody's gone, the back of your yard. I'm like, huh. I was like, okay. I was like, I can work with that,
That's really cool.
So
I never even would have thought that. So Confessions of a Babysitter is a good book to read right before the end of the world. You're going to learn
or just, the way that you would write it, like he said to go about writing it like, you would want to find it, if it was the end of the world, it was like the last book, I was like, oh,
okay.
I was like, oh, okay. I was like, yeah.
Okay.
But, Confession, the name of the book has nothing to do with just his way about writing it.
Okay. No, I see. Oh, sorry. Yeah, no, I'm just trying to get an idea for it. That's all.
Oh, my book. I've got plenty of funny stories, confessions. I've got them all. Like,
oh yeah. Can we get one?
Sure. You want, let's see here. Some of the most uptight, well, yeah, some of, where do I start? So I went into it for job security and conscious birth control.
Okay.
I am 36 years old and I have no children and I still have a job. So we'll start there. And and now I'm watching my friends' kids, and the real confession is it is more fun when it's your friends' children. Something definitely shifts and it is way more fun. And dealing with mom brain is not something that the new moms understand, but it is a very frustrating thing to deal with, where you have to like constantly repeat yourself. It's like you could write it down, but like their brain is not functioning quite the way
it's like Memento. It's like the movie Memento.
Yeah, and so so dealing with new moms can also be a challenge.
Bless their hearts.
Yeah, oh, they're great. It's super fun, and I've gotten to go travel all over the world. I got a free trip to Disney World.
Good for you.
Just taking that skill and using it and keep going with it. So
yeah, Legal Shield does the same thing. They, if you get top whatever, they put you on Disney World. Last in December, they sent like a couple hundred people to all-inclusive Disney World trip. It was awesome. It looked awesome. I wasn't one of the people who went, but hopefully next year.
All right. Well, if you do go to Disney World, I think Epcot is the ultimate kingdom to go see. So.
Oh yeah. So I grew up in the Orlando area, so I would bounce around Universal, and then Islands of Adventure. I loved it down there. I love going back. I do all the touristy stuff when I go back. Go in the go-karts, do all the stuff. I don't know why I was too cool when I was in high school. Like, oh no, that's where all the tourists go. Yeah, bro, that's where all the fun is. So that's super cool.
Yeah.
Well, you're on the mission to have an impact on the world through juggling and your skill of teaching people how to juggle, unicycling, bringing smiles to the world through your different projects and events and collaborations. You're an adapter. You're a babysitter that uses the act of babysitting as birth control. I love my kids. I love being a little mentor to like guide and answer questions. So I love it. Other people's kids are other people's kids. So it's like that's a very delicate thing because
and sometimes you just have to ask. You just have to be like, how do you want things done? And that's the thing. Every parent, I've gotten to see, the other confession is I've gotten to see like all the different intimate parts of life, right? I got to be in the middle of people's homes, and you see the breakdown of marriage. You see the breakdown of communication. You see how like there's so many misunderstandings and miscommunications happening at the same time. So that was the other, is that it gave me a real insight on relationships, and then you see how they either continue to grow or they break apart. So it's been quite a perspective to have.
Yeah. It's had a huge impact on my communication, both how I communicate with adults and then to like children, because it's like, what am I really trying to say here? And then what is this person really trying to say? and making sure that I understand what that person's trying to say. And then because especially children, they don't have all the words. So they're like, fix this,
Yeah.
So that's really cool. Well, if you could, if you could leave the people watching and listening with one thing to just do differently from today moving forward in some sense of that phrase, what would it be?
Just try and enjoy every moment.
Yeah.
Try and enjoy every moment more, even the bad ones.
Yeah.
Because if you can find just a tiny bit of joy in that, then everything else will get better. You can do anything. Just knowing that, it's like you can do it.
Oh, for sure. This gray matter between our ears wasn't designed to just, take care of the daily responsibilities of our physical upkeep. I mean, this thing is like incalculably, I can't say that word, but it is a super powerful muscle that we can use to help get us anywhere. And if we remember to ask, like, why is this happening for me, and try to find that joy, like you suggested, we'll be able to learn and progressively move forward. I said this, I was coming out of Target today, and I was like, oh, automatic doors are a lot like life. You walk in the right direction, they just open up for you.
Totally.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah, my friend yesterday said, he said, you can be right or you can be happy. And I was like, hallelujah. I was like, more people need to hear that, right? Because you get so many situations. It's like, it's not about being right. It's not about being right. It's about being happy. So
yeah, absolutely. When we learn how to like really use like our heart, and like I was talking to on a team call the other day about, do you know how in like memories, like some of these memories that we've had, we feel like so much love and joy in the center of our hearts. We feel like a higher frequency, it's just, I'm sure you've had something like that where some moment that you're really proud of and it just felt so light and like incredible inside. If we can actually practice feeling that way and find that in things and like have that happen more often, and we can even help create like future memories, like imagine something that we want or like for somebody else. And that's what, like, I think that's what some people feel is praying. Like when you're feeling that way towards your goal or someone else's goal and sending energy that way and practicing that, and you'll be able to do that more often. It'll have a huge, like, thinking about that when something bad happens, while you're thinking about why is this happening for me, and thinking about something like that, you're going to be able to, that's like some Buddhist stuff, like transformational stuff. And it's all contagious. So you help people smile and learn things through your passion about, comes easy to you. And so do I. And so do a lot of other people. And together we're going to be able to rise everybody up. And it's going to be an incredible feeling. So Erin, thank you so much for taking the time to do this video podcast.
Thanks so much. My pleasure.
Where can people find more about you and support the cause?
My website is magicianoflife.com.
Nice.
And there's links to my social media on there as well. And so you can, tune in, stay tuned.
Awesome. Yeah, so we're going to go ahead and have those links. We'll have these links down here. My damn microphone and earbud keeps falling out. So we're going to have those links down below wherever you're watching this, and tags back to the social. Erin, thank you so much for taking the time to record, and we'll do this again soon. We'll have to come together. You're going to have to come up to Connecticut to CPI and make a skydive.
Oh, that sounds good. I've yet to go.
It is an incredible, I'm so happy. It's an incredible DZ. I'm happy to be back. It's home. It's a small drop zone. It's a club, small landing area compared to what we're used to, and it's amazing.
Well, have fun, be safe, and rock on.
All right, you too. Thanks for taking the time. See you later.
Thanks. Bye.
Bye.